Welcome back to the Giants, guys. We're having some fun this week. We're recapping the Browns game, talking about Christmas wish lists, Gettleman and Garrett, who stays, who goes. Stay tuned. As always, follow these guys on Twitter.
Did someone say we're live? Wow! Happy holidays, people.
Boom.
Yes. Boom is right. We're back. Holiday season. Drinking, eating, getting fat is all the things on my agenda. Oh, yeah, and some Ranger talk. No doubt about it. Happy holidays, people. You are listening and watching the Giants, guys, the podcast you love to hate. And I'm back. Yep, I'm back, and I'm ready to cry all the way through this podcast. I'm Craig Santucci, your host, owner, operator of nygiantsrush.com. We thank you for the support. We definitely need you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Why? It's just kind of what we do. It's the way for us to it lets us know we're doing the right thing. When you subscribe, it lets us know you like us. So we keep doing the right thing. When you don't subscribe, you don't like us, and we sit around and cry, what are we doing wrong?
True story.
You know, it is true story. You know, my guys, I got Fresh, I got Spiro, I got Jeff, I got Michael Stewart. We're all in the house. These are the Giants guys. So we are rolling into the holidays. We're coming off another loss. So let's get into that and dig in fast as we can and get knee deep in it. Everybody good with that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
All right. So the Giants brought us nothing to celebrate, of course, as they lose to Baker Mayfield and the Browns 22-6 at MetLife Stadium. I will admit, for the first 10 minutes of that game, 12 minutes of that game, even though I thought the fake field goal thing was pretty stupid to start the game, but I wasn't really concerned. I felt like the Giants were in control of that game from a momentum standpoint. I was not at all concerned, and I thought we were going to win. And selfishly, I think they were going to win big. Maybe not 77-0, as our boy Bobby Skinner likes to say, but I did think that they were going to win. It didn't happen. Now the Giants are coming up and facing the 9-5 Baltimore Ravens on Sunday at 1:00. We're going to get into that a little bit. Interesting enough, people, today I was asked a pretty interesting question. I was asked if I was happy. I don't know if I'm ever happy, but happy or content with the progress of this team, which is the segue into our first. Oh, wait. Yes. I wouldn't let you people down. Show notes. Always got the notes, baby.
Always prepared. Always well prepared.
Exactly, Fresh. You got my back, buddy. First segment is called Love It or Hate It. So my answer is yes. I'm actually content, slightly happy with the progress this team has made. We started off with a new coach. New staff, right? I see you shaking your head, Spiro. You agree? New scheme, no real training camp, no preseason, a rookie left tackle, the loss of Saquon Barkley, the loss of Xavier McKinney. We've lost our quarterback, Jones, our offensive coordinator, Garrett, and our Pro Bowl. I'm sorry, twice, and our Pro Bowl cornerback. So how am I happy with our progress? I'm only happy with one half, okay? One half of the team. And that would be the defense. Jerry Reese left his team gutted. I'm sure you guys know how much I am not a fan of that gentleman, okay? And now Gettleman's been fighting to fix it. He's gambled and lost. He's gambled and won. I don't care if he stays or he goes. We'll get into that. But none of it's good for the New York Giants. We expect more, we deserve more, and playing this type of ball is just garbage where I'm concerned. They've got to do better. I think you'll all agree with me. They've got to do better. So give me one thing, gentlemen, that you are happy with. Okay, one thing you are happy with, and one thing that you can't wait to change. Because I'm happy with the defense. Like, I don't know how much more I could ask out of our defense. Do I love it? No, but I'm really happy with it because it came out of nowhere, and they're all free agents. So I'm starting off with you, Fresh. Give me one thing that you are really, really happy with. Like, you don't want anything to change. Keep it as it is. And one thing that you can't wait to January 1st to change.
Yeah. Well, the first part of that.
Yeah.
Woo! Well, the first part of that is like on the surface, yeah, clearly we're all the defense, anybody could see there's progress there, but I think it's definitely concerning that there's more questions than answers on offense. We still are kind of going back and forth with, do we have our franchise quarterback? But the one thing I'm happy with that I love is that when we win games, it's in the trenches now. And a few years ago, even in 2016, like when you're not built from the inside out, it's not sustainable, right? And we prove that. Now it feels like we're a lot closer to being good and sustaining it because we're built from the inside out. So I love that we're built and ready and primed to move forward on both lines.
Hold on. So are you saying then we don't lose, like, so we lost 3 games by like 6 points earlier in the season. If I understand you correctly, we're not getting blown out by games because in the trenches, we're keeping games close. Do I understand you correct?
Yeah, I just think that you're way more likely to be able to sustain a winning team over the course of season after season that way. But yeah, breaking it down this season, you're right on with that.
Okay, give me the one thing you can't wait to flip the light switch off.
Well, let's see.
That's 2 for you.
It's easiest. It's easy. Weapons for Jones. That's simple as that. Wideouts. Give me targets. Give me bodies.
All right, good bodies. We hope, right? Michael Stewart. Michael Stewart. Like, one thing that you just are like, when somebody says, Michael, like, your season sucked, you say, well, you know what? I'm happy with this. What is it?
Well, look, I'm not going to say defense because I know everybody else will. So I'll change it around. I'm happy that Graham Cano is on this team because we keep forgetting him. He had a great year as well. He could have been a Pro Bowler as well, and they signed him to an extension, so he's here next year. So I'm glad we have him, and of course the defense has played great.
All right. Well, that was simple. I like your answer. Give me that one thing that you are going to literally, like, right now, like, if you're a Jets fan, you're just waiting for January 1st to come around and see Gates get fired. So what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? January 1st, January 2nd, whatever it is. What are you waiting for that you're like, oh, man, I can't wait for this to happen?
Well, if you see my Twitter today, I mean, it's not a secret. I just can't wait till and hopefully that they get a new tight end. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Engram. I was very adamant on Twitter today about the Pro Bowl selection, how it's a joke. So that would be my can't wait for.
I like that. I don't know. The sad part about that is you're gonna have to wait till spring to get that one. You know what I mean? So you're not getting that in January, but you may get that in the spring. Go ahead, Spiro. What do you got for me?
Well, I'm just ecstatic that I think I know that we have our head coach. That's a huge factor in this whole game. Everybody got knocked on him for being aggressive, and he came out and he just, in my opinion, shut everybody up. He said, "I coach my guys aggressive. We're gonna play aggressive. That's the way we're gonna go going forward. And I can't tell them in practice to be aggressive, and then cut their nuts off, so to speak, in the game." So everything he said, everything he does, listen, the fake field goal in the beginning, you can question it, but he is leaving it all on the field. He knew field goals weren't going to matter. I love this guy. I stand behind him. I think we got the right man at the top, and it all starts from there, in my opinion. It all starts from the big guy up top.
All right. Well, first of all, I'm grabbing my nuts now that you said like about cutting something off, and I'm like down here like this, like, no, what? All right, give me that one that you can't wait for it to happen. Like, you've had enough and you're ready to move.
Well, it's shedding the dead weight, man. Like a Solder and Tate and Devontae Downs. Getting these guys that are clogging up the books. And, well, not Devontae Downs, but you got a lot of dead weight on this team that we're ready to move on from. The older guys, the guys that are just on the team that were getting through the rebuild. Now we could start stacking these young players that we're drafting, add a couple blue chip free agents or two, and then we could just get rid of these bums that are on the team.
Now I like that because you probably will see some of that early on. And here's the thing, I'll give you a little bit of the other side. I wouldn't mind, and I think you'll agree, I wouldn't mind if some of those older guys were there if they produced. We haven't really listen, Solder's a whole different ball game, and I can't say a bad thing about a guy.
Love the guy,
right?
Of course,
But
sure.
a guy like Tate, who comes in and gets busted for PEDs last year, and then you know what I mean, and and then this year just checking out, falling down in the open field, running out of bounds, talking smack on social media, so he kind of sealed his own fate. Spiro, I wouldn't mind if he was producing and he was the Golden Tate we knew for yards after the catch. I'd be like, okay, cool.
He ain't it anymore.
Nope.
Doesn't it seem like he gets that one catch in the second half? Like it's a tough catch.
Yes,
tough catch
exactly.
when we need it, and then he's just gone again. Like that's
and that's the thing about, and this isn't about Tate, but the interesting thing about Tate is like we all are not a fan because of the shenanigans he's had. But listen, if Jones threw at that cat 10 times a game, he'd catch 7 out of 10 balls. He has the talent. Up here, he seems checked out. Like he doesn't want to risk getting hurt. He doesn't want to pop anything. So, I don't mind that Spiro at all. Kind of like that plan early in the year, we start shedding weight, right? It's kind of like getting rid of that, baby fat.
We're on the other side of the rebuild.
Let me just say that, if they want to have the least amount of dead money, they're going to have to make those cuts after June 1st.
Fair.
So they're going to have to hold Tate all the way to the summer?
And Soldier, too, if that's a decision on him as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that he just hangs him up. He says he's going to retire, and
that could happen. Yeah,
right.
Could happen.
Because it sounded like he was having a good time being away from football. So
and his family.
We'll see.
Yeah, and he's made a ton of money. Go ahead, Jeff. What do you got for me?
Spiro nailed it. Obviously, the defense was great, but the fact that we have our head coach, and I don't find many people who doubt that we have our head coach, and you don't have to go back more than 4 years to be like Ben McAdoo and his haircut, and then Pat Shurmur, who's just like a nice, soft-spoken guy. Like he's not a head football coach. Like he can scheme up some plays, and he belongs as an offensive coordinator, and they don't all translate to head coaches. But I love the culture that Joe Judge is bringing. So really happy there. Patrick Graham is obviously a home run as well. And Gettleman crushed the offseason and free agency. Like there's just no other way to look at it. His first 2 years, you can nitpick a ton of stuff that he did wrong and that didn't pan out. The 2020, what he did leading into this year, it was a home run.
He doesn't get a lot of credit for it.
No, and I get it. We're losing too much. You're not going to applaud too hard for a guy that, we've been the worst team in football since he started as our GM. So it's hard to defend at times. One thing I'm disappointed about this year, and I keep checking in with how I felt preseason, which was an optimistic 7-9, and we kind of were right there. Now it looks like it'll be 6. We might even stay put at 5 wins. Who knows at this point? But I'm disappointed that we didn't learn anything about our quarterback. And the whole thing was, he was a rookie. Rookies have fumbles, and then sophomore year it was still fumbling, and then the best thing that happened during that win streak was he protected the ball. But it's a passing league, and I still don't know if we have a guy that will throw us on his back in the second half in a shootout and get it done. And I know he needs weapons. He definitely needs weapons, and he needs help. He needs the right scheme. But I'm just disappointed that I don't feel any more confident. Like, look at it this way. His first NFL game, that game in Tampa, he ran for 2, he threw for 2, and the Giants won in dramatic fashion. He never sniffed that level of excitement since then.
A teaser, right?
Right. Like he came out so hot, and it's been a struggle ever since then. I'm just.
What do you want to change? Because my question to you is, what's that one thing you want to change soon as the off season turns on? I can't change Jones, but if there's something the Giants can change that would make you happy, what would that be?
Wide receivers. Fresh nailed it. The guy needs stud wide receivers that can win one-on-one battles in any situation. We don't have a reliable guy all the time. You know what I mean? And
I'll tell you what can happen. We can't be sitting here next year not knowing about Jones. So we can't let the receiver excuse be there. So we need to address that.
Yep. And then you have the offensive coordinator problem too.
Right.
Are you going to introduce a third system?
Don't be jumping ahead, Pilgrim. Don't be
Well-
jumping ahead.
we're in a tough
Read the
we're in a tough
notes.
spot on the offense, man. We're
Seriously.
bottom 3 offense, and there's a lot of different reasons for it.
The mechanic
I'll
is
look
like,
into that.
yeah, the mechanic's like running through the show notes before we even get. We're only
I'm
into
on-
the. We're
I'm on the
into the,
6th topic already.
yeah, we're into the show 20 minutes and Pilgrim's jumping ahead.
All right, I
Hey, you
came
wanted
out
to ask
hot,
what he
sorry.
wanted. You asked what he wanted to change. Oh, our offensive coordinator might be it, man.
Justin convinced me.
Well,
I
they
guess
may not have
that's
to
what-
worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, hold on. We're not there. Hey, thanks for listening to the Giants, guys, people. Again, we really appreciate it. We need you to subscribe. We need you to pump us up, pass this on, download it, upload it, and make sure you support these guys when they're writing. We're trying to step up our game. We need you to come along for the ride. We're going to move on to this next section, which to me is just it's just painful. Yeah, exactly. Because there's no answer, right? Like I could make a meme out of you doing that, Jeff. Like it's like, yeah, exactly. All right, this next segment is called Run, Wayne, Run. I think we'd all agree that Wayne Gallman is having the best season as a pro. Would we not all agree? Thumbs up to that?
No doubt.
Yeah,
Agreed.
right? No freaking brainer. And the Giants have definitely dedicated themselves, as you can see with Jones's 9 touchdown passes. You can see the Giants have dedicated themselves to running the ball, bringing in Shane Lemieux, rotating linemen, drafting Pert, drafting Thomas. They want to win in the trenches, right? We see that. That's what they want to do. And we're all for it, right? We've always been between Joe Morris and Rodney Hampton, OJ, Tiki Barber, Bradshaw, Jacobs. We've always this franchise is known for 2 things: running backs and linebackers. So we're okay with running the ball. And I spent some time watching the all 22. The line is moving bodies. I mean, the double teams are like perfect. I mean, they look fantastic. So what's with this bull crap about, like rotating 2 journeyman running backs? Dude, I'm telling you now, if any of you give me some kind of crap, I don't want to hear it because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. I have a guy who's a downhill runner and he's getting 7-9 carries. I don't care. I don't care about about any of the rest of them. I mean, Morris, okay, he had a couple nice runs. Go back and watch the all 22. The hole was so big, I could have ran my Jeep through it sideways. I mean, like, of course he ripped off 14, 15 yards. Why isn't Gallman getting 20 carries? Why are we rotating in dead weight? Who said they? Spiro, you said you wanted to get rid of the dead weight. Was that you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. There's no reason why, these guys are in the game, maybe for a handful of carries. But don't tell me Gallman's tired. He's not tired. Don't tell me. The guy's had fresh legs for 3 years. This is what he's been waiting for. Guys, tell me, like, basically why we're trotting out 2 guys that are 2 games away from retirement. These dudes are done. This isn't Freeman we're talking about. Freeman had some gas in the tank. We're talking about 2 journeymen. Why are we doing it? Because it is as frustrating to me as anything I can think of. We found a running back we didn't even know we had, and we're running these scrubs in here to give him what? A rest? He's not tired. He's getting 7-9 carries. Please, Jeff, talk to me. Give me something.
I mean, I can't.
I'm like furious over
I
it.
hope you're not looking for me to justify it for you because it makes absolutely no sense. It's not like he was a guy that we saw in a preseason game and he flashed and it's like, well, what are they seeing in practice that we're not? Like, no, this guy was doing it in games, like game after game. I think he had 6 touchdowns in 5 weeks or something like that at one point. Why are you going away from him? He's a homegrown guy, like he's ours. And you have Barkley was out. You're never going to replace Barkley, but Gallman stepped in. It was like, we got our guy. Just feed him. Just feed him. The old line was clicking and they had that chemistry together. It makes no sense. It's almost like if you're a Jet fan, you're watching them feed Frank Gore until he's going to throw up. Like, what do you need to learn about Frank Gore at this point? Like, get a rookie some experience. What are you doing? It makes no sense. I rest my case. That's it.
Fresh.
Might as well move on. It doesn't
Yeah.
really thing.
Fresh. Have we not said Fresh for the last 3 weeks? He's going to break one. He's going to break one. He's going to break one. He looks great. Why aren't they giving him the ball? I hope one of you actually has a reason, because there is no reason. No,
Yeah.
Spiro, you'll wait
No
your
reason.
turn. Go ahead,
No
Fresh.
reason.
There's no reason. It's poor coaching. It's a bad job. He should get 90% of the snaps at running back right
Whose
now.
decision is that?
What's that, Michael Stewart?
No, Fresher says it's a poor coaching job. Whose decision is to have
mean-
coming in and out and in and out? Who does that?
I don't know. I mean,
It could be anyone, but I mean, it's on all of them, and it's on Judge for letting it happen.
the running back coach isn't changing personnel. It's got to be the offensive coordinator.
It's a combination, probably.
Well, Garrett's up on the booth, right? He's up high looking down. That's where he usually stands, right? Garrett?
Yeah.
So he has to relate to somebody to get the running backs to rotate them. So I don't know why it ultimately comes down to Judge. Judge should be seeing this and says, I want Goldman to run the ball more.
It's just, listen, for the guy that stood in front of us and said, I want nothing but teachers. I want young guys. I don't need veterans in the locker room. Then why are these two old dudes there?
But,
it's
Morris is
crazy.
producing though, guys. Like, you guys can't say that he's not producing. He's
Who?
averaging 4.7 yards a carry.
No, you're missing.
That's
he's
almost
not part
5
of
yards a
this
carry.
He's
But
not part of-
Spiro, look.
No, just wait. Let me make my
Go
point
ahead.
here.
Oh, yeah, please,
So,
please.
I'm going galaxy brain on everybody here. So they know Gallman has got the talent right now. They're purposely holding him back so they
going
can
to-
sign him back at a lower number, so he's not exposed to the whole league.
No, I don't think so.
Hey,
You're
Hey,
going
but he's-
UFO on me here?
hey, listen, if you're exposing him, you're saying everybody's getting these yards because the holes are there. So the offensive line's making the holes.
Dude, listen,
Right.
I know I
So-
gave you my pass.
So
for
you
all
know
22.
that Gallman's going to get like, first of all, let's not take last game as your example here, because we had 20 carries total. The game script got away from us.
Yeah.
Same as the Arizona game. We haven't had a lead recently to run the ball more. So I think if there was a game that we had a lead again, you're going to see Gallman taking 80% of the carries. But let's not, like, Morris is getting the job done when he's in there. I know he's not part of the future.
But here's the thing.
Is Gallman part of the future? We don't even know
Might
he's going to be
be.
back here.
Without a
We
doubt.
don't.
But a chance that
Yeah,
Morris does.
But if he explodes the rest of the season, he's just going to up his number and he's out of here.
Here's
Well,
the thing.
That's different. But
I love the take.
Just my thought.
I mean,
No.
it's
Spiro.
reasonable. He's a good lawyer.
Spiro, I love the
Boss.
take. I love the
thoughts.
take, and the take has legs. My issue with that take is not that you brought it up. It's the fact is that, like, Judge isn't that guy. Judge
Well, he
just
kind of
wants,
he's a personnel guy. He's thinking long term, baby.
I think he wants to win games. I think
Yeah,
he's like, if
yeah.
you knew, I think he's like,
Do you think
look,
Alfred Morris is preventing us from winning games?
what you're losing is we're not a throwing team, and our backup quarterback's in. But the running back that has started 98% of the year, who's just getting hot, is being cut at the knees. I'm telling you, have you watched the All 22 yet?
Not yet, but yeah.
Watch
I mean,
it. I am not
but
kidding
look
you.
at the numbers yesterday, last game. You had
Anyone could have.
Gallman had 29 yards on 9 carries, and Morris had 39 on 7.
Here's what I'll
like-
tell you. When you watch the All 22, you're going to come back and go, you know what? If that was Gallman with those extra 9 carries, he would have had 100 yards. Gallman would have ripped the top of that defense off just alone in being a better running back. He's fresh. Morris is at the end. He's 2 games away from retiring.
Fair. All right. Well, we all know what
But for
our
the
thoughts
record, I love the take. If that's remotely possible, then, like, I will give you all the credit in the world. But
I'll
man,
buy
it
the
doesn't
dinner. I'll
feel
tell you
right
that.
that's a Judge team.
I think it's a dart throw, but it's a pretty good conspiracy
I mean,
theory. 'cause-
Nobody else has any good ideas of why
well,
this is
in
happening.
the red zone, they've gotten away from Gallman. They pulled his touchdowns away. Alfred Morris scored 2 touchdowns 2 weeks ago. Like
Michael Stewart, you agree with this?
what? It's a conspiracy, like a theory.
Well, that there's some type of game.
You don't have to agree with
plan
that. That's just my own. That's my
I
own
don't-
thoughts.
it's entertaining, if nothing
All
else.
due respect to Spiro, I don't think the Giants are deliberately keeping Goldman from showing the league that he's a pretty good back. I think they all know what his abilities are. But I like his take on it because we don't have one.
That's
Why
the
he's
best
not getting enough
take
ball.
we got.
Yeah, so that's good. I like it.
All right, then I got to ask everyone this question. what's his name? The third back.
Lewis.
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 I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's something like 18 snaps.
He's a third down back. He's going to get down every third down. One thing Gallman can't really do well is pass block. There's a reason why they don't trust him on third down.
I know, but what are you going to do? That guy then keep a tight end in the game.
Yeah, but running back is an important blocking position on third down.
No. I'm saying then bring in Caden Smith to play the fullback and pick up the block.
H-back.
We need
Yeah,
Caden
the
Smith
H-back.
on the outside too.
But I'm telling you, I know this right now. Lewis brings nothing to the table.
Hey, he does fumble on kick returns. He doesn't bring nothing to the table.
That's true. That's a good point.
Give him
Let me
something.
rephrase that.
Don't worry about it. He won't be here back. He won't be here next year.
No, yeah, we don't have to worry about Lewis.
But Michael Stewart, he shouldn't be here today. Is the question. All right. And what I should have said was he brings nothing to the table for the Giants.
Oh,
Yeah.
like positively. Got it.
Again, I'll wrap this up in a bow is like whether it's got to be coaching and they're dropping the ball. If they wanted better field position, we are definitely making it known that we're a running team, then give the running back the ball. I'm sitting here saying to myself, and Spiro, this is kind of why I like your take, but it confuses me because if Barkley was in the backfield, would you be taking Barkley out for Gallman?
Yeah, but
Well, that's your number 3 pick. A number 2 pick. That's
No,
a little
I'm
different
saying-
story.
But we're
Barkley,
just talking theory right now. Gallman's your number 1, and you're giving him 7 or 9 snaps. It's not enough.
I hear what you're saying. I
All
hear
I'm
what you're saying.
is that he's the next man up, but you're passing the next man up for the next man up.
Yeah, 29 rushing yards is unacceptable for Gallman after what he's done.
Thank you. That's
It
it
is,
right
though.
there. 29 yards. What was it? 7 carries, 9 carries?
They gave Morris 9.
It was
carries. I think
9 calories for Gallman and 7 for Morris.
7.
Unacceptable. All I'm saying. Fresh, don't you agree?
Yeah, it's nonsense.
Yeah,
They
but
gotta
what is
give
he? What
Gallman the ball.
would he have gotten? 3 more carries? 4 more carries?
No, I want. Listen, you got.
he's not going to get all the carries. That's
Yeah,
not the way their
remember,
offense
they were
works.
losing. They had to throw the ball.
Right. That's the
losing
thing.
the ball.
They only had 20 carries total.
I
Yeah.
easily take half of Lewis's and I give him to Caden Smith. The other half I give to.
Lewis only had 1 carry.
Yeah, but he was in for 18 snaps.
All right. Well, moving on. We know how you feel.
All right. Yeah, it's been sticking with me all. I really as much as the Cardinal game was befuddling to me, I did not enjoy the Browns game. It was literally like just watching paint dry. We did nothing to win that game. I'm going to blame a little bit of Freddie Kitchens too. He failed. Freddie Kitchens fails. He fails his audition. All right. Next segment up is what do you want for Christmas? All right. Come on. Listen, Michael Stewart's wearing a red shirt and a red visor. So he's feeling Christmas right now. Okay. So the team lacks playmakers. We've been beating that up like crazy. Everyone's understanding. We need an edge rusher, right? Yes. Thumbs up. Need an edge rusher.
Yep.
Need a number 2 cornerback. We need wide receiver and potentially, depending on who you ask, we need a tight end. Again, and I preface that with depending on who you ask. Let's just make this real super easy. They need a playmaker that can ball mistake free, gentlemen. We don't make any progress as a team because the playmakers we have make too many mistakes. Engram, Slayton, they make too many mistakes. The best players like Ertz or Kittle or Kelsey, whoever it is, your Juju, whatever it is, right? You pick a guy, Claypool. These guys don't make a lot of mistakes. So let's make this right easy to the point. Tell me what you want for Christmas. Must the Giants draft a wide receiver in the first round, guaranteeing a homegrown guy? Starting with you, Fresh. Give it to me.
They don't need to draft a receiver in the first round to ensure a homegrown guy. Plaxico Burress was not a homegrown guy. What I want for Christmas is a wide receiver that can consistently beat man-to-man coverage and create separation to give the quarterback an outlet in a time of need. And they do need to address that position between rounds 1, 2, and free agency. It doesn't have to be round 1. Remember, DK Metcalf was a second round pick. So I won't go nuts if it's not round 1.
All right. So you're comfortable with them going like pass rusher cornerback with 1, but you're saying to me, if you really got to get a receiver in the second round.
If you don't have one in free agency and you don't have one in the first round, I'm thinking they're going to get one in the first round or free agency, but I won't go bonkers if they don't get one in the first round, right?
Fresh, they don't got a lot of money in the cap. If you want a receiver, you got to draft them. They're not going to have money to pay. If they pay a wide receiver, you can kiss Leo goodbye.
Yeah.
Good year to need a wide receiver in the draft, right, Stewart?
Go ahead, Spiro. Run with
Yeah.
me. Do you want a receiver, Spiro, in the first round?
No, not in the first round. It's a deep wide receiver class this year. I'd want one personally in the second or third. I'm shooting for that because I want my edge rusher, man. If you bring everybody back and put an edge rusher on this defense, I mean, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be a top 10 defense.
All right, well, let's be realistic. Not everybody's coming back.
But Zimenez and Carter are coming back, though. You know what I'm saying?
And they haven't overly produced so far.
Right.
Ryan's not going to come back probably because we got McKinney who's going to take his role. Dalvin Tomlinson might be a gunner too, but I think we could live without those two guys. If you put an edge rusher on, BJ Hill steps into the starting role for Dalvin Tomlinson. You could still have a nice front. You add a nice little depth linebacker, put an edge rusher on there.
Quickly answer me this. You don't have to go too far so I can kick it to Michael and Jeff, but just answer me this because I'm cool with it. Listen, as we know, the name of the website is
The Rush.
Yeah.
You want an edge guy.
Nice
Yeah.
rush.
Listen, 4 trophies in the case because of the defense and the pass rush. Don't let anybody out there in Giant Land fool you about we need cornerbacks. They win. Yo, pass rush wins, man. Look at the 4 silver trophies in the case. Pass rush. So I'm all about it. My question to you, Spiro, is this. Looking at the way Graham runs the defense, and me and I think Jeff, you and I think might have had a little chat about it today over Twitter. He doesn't seem like he really needs one. Because we're rushing 2, we're rushing 5, we're rushing 3. We're I don't know. Do you go out there and draft a badass DN or linebacker like TJ Watt, and then he doesn't snap out at 70, 80 plays?
I think Graham's doing what he's working with what he has right now.
Okay.
So he doesn't have a pass rusher, so he's manufacturing. It'd be a hell of a lot better if you don't have to manufacture a pass rush by just sending your stud edge rusher in there and let him win a one-on-one,
All right, fair enough. So you're saying, if you got a Dupree who's hurt a lot, but if you got a TJ Watt, if you got a
and then you throw Carter and Zimenez, let them battle it out for the other side. 2 injured guys, maybe, and hopefully one of them, emerges out of the trio.
Michael Stewart, you tell me, are we drafting a wide receiver in the first round? Should we? Do we need to? Talk to me. Okay. You're the guy more than anyone here that eats and sleeps the draft. So talk to me.
Yeah. Well, I thought about this a great deal today. The Giants defense is way ahead of the offense. I think they really need to address the offensive side of the ball in free agency to catch up with the defense, because then you're looking at a longer rebuilding. With that being said, they don't have to break the bank, like getting guys like who is that guy that's available in free agency?
Galladay or Robinson.
Right. Those guys on Spot Track, they're looking around 17 million plus.
Yeah, it's too pricey.
Now there is a kid out there that's going to be a free agent who's going to be less than that. He's a good player.
Corey Davis.
Gabriel Davis, and I think that's a good possibility.
You guys are high on Davis.
Yeah, he's balling out this year.
He's a tough guy. I like.
Yeah, but he does have a solid number 1 on the other side.
True.
So there's things about it, and they have a phenomenal running game. So there are.
He's not the answer. He might be a piece, but
right,
if we just get him,
there's no answer. There's no answer with the Giants cap space. You can't.
Right.
You're not going to get a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
This cap space.
So with that said, why not draft a wide receiver in the first round? Because
I'll tell you why.
I'm getting to you, Jeff. Hang on, I'm getting.
Yeah, hold on. I just don't think with the deep draft that the wide receiver has, which is deeper this year even than last year, that I think with the other needs they do have, especially pass rush, I think it would be something that would not be wise to go wide receiver first round.
Michael Stewart, I love you to death. You've been with me the longest. Like me and you, we've been doing this together for like 7-8 years now. That is so surprising because you know what? I'm one of these guys that says, you know what? It's a deep draft. Give me 2. Give me 1 in the first round. Give me 1 in the third round. Jeff, take this.
I think they should draft a wide receiver, and I think within the first, second, and third round they will. I don't see one in the first round though.
Give me 2, Jeff.
So
give me 2.
You made the great point, Michael Stewart, that the defense is so far ahead of the offense. I think that's pretty obvious. And as it stands today, and I know we can't keep everyone, but it's a revolving door in the NFL. The defense right now is doing enough for us to win games. The offense is where we're falling extremely short. So with that, I won't be upset if we get a stud edge rusher and get a guy in the second round to play wide receiver. But if you look around the NFL at the rookies, Justin Jefferson, Chase Claypool, T. Higgins, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, these are instant impact guys putting up big numbers for their team. Giants need that homegrown guy. So if we're picking in that 8 to 13 range or maybe even higher, that was the Odell Beckham range. So like you can get that guy right there and solidify it. Go get your edge at 2, get another wide receiver at 3. I'm happy with that. If they get their stud edge, I won't be upset because I know it's a deep class, like you said. But if you have your choice of the top 2 wide receivers wherever we're picking, then get your guy. This offense is drowning for a number 1 wide receiver.
Let me ask you something. If the Giants finish, like Jeff just said, between 8 and 13, right now, based on that, you're going to have Devontae Smith there. You're going to have Waddle there. You're going to have Bateman there.
Be Chase.
I think Chase will be gone before the 8th pick. I really do.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
it's my belief that the Giants really like Chase. Just based things I've read. And if they pick somebody, a wide receiver between the 8-13, when you might have a Russo sitting there or even a Pay, that might be a tough thing to swallow.
Tough.
I understand.
Well, we still got time to go.
Yep. If there's a can't miss pass rusher, like we got to look at Chase Young for the next decade, right? And this guy's an absolute monster.
Right.
You can see what an edge rusher like that can do for a defense, and if it makes our defense that much scarier, and then you can get a high talent guy in the second round and play wide receiver, that's a win-win too. But for me, the biggest need is wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's wrong here.
They got a guy. There's a guy who's going to be available, I think, in the second round. I think his name is Tylon Wallace out of I think it's Oklahoma State.
That kid can ball.
That's right, and he could be there at number 2 for the Giants.
I'll send you guys the link on this cat.
Yeah, he could play.
This dude can ball.
What's his name again?
Hang on, I got it here.
Tylon.
Yeah.
Wallace.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I shared the link like last week. I'll look it back up for you, Jeff. Dude balls.
All right, I'll look him up.
It's not a big school. I think his father played there. I think it's kind of like maybe a family thing if I remember correct. But the dude can definitely ball.
I'm not sure. I should know this, but I'm not sure.
What's that, Michael Stewart?
I said, is it Oklahoma State? I'm not too sure.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
I'll send the link up, but the dude balls. I really like him. I think he had 3 touchdowns in one game. One of them one-handed. He makes this sick catch in the end zone, right? Back of the end zone, Beckham kind of thing. They call it no catch, right? They call pass interference, which gives him the ball on the 1-yard line, and a quarterback throws it into the corner, and the dude makes just as sick as catch like 30 seconds later. And you're like, where is this guy come from? Like he's legit. He's got a little bit of a hip issue that I remember, but yeah, Michael Stewart, that's a good pick.
So whether it's first or second round, we need an impact wide receiver.
Yeah.
By day 2 at the latest.
A baller.
I'll leave you with this story and we'll move to the next section. Years ago, I got a couple friendly with a couple NFL guys that played for the Eagles because I live down here. All right. One was Lito Shepherd and the other one was Sheldon Brown. Okay. They were drafted number 1 and number 2. Okay. They were both cornerbacks. They were best friends. Okay. Total polar opposites. Lito was like a gearhead, loved his cars, his trucks. He could work on them. He had a house full of all sorts of pimped out rides. And Sheldon was a workout maniac. He had like a gym in his house that made Gold's Gym look like child's play. And these two guys played next to each other for like 8 years. I mean, it was so cool. Number 1 and number 2. And they used to wear their numbers around their necks, right? On a chain. And Lito's was always bigger than Sheldon. And I asked him one day, I'm like, yo, Shell. And I was more friendly with Sheldon. I said, yo, Shell, what's up? Why is Lito's chain bigger than you? He goes, first round money and second round money. You know what I mean? So my point is like, everyone, you got to have some balls. You got to have some balls. You know what? Go draft a wide receiver. I'm telling you now, take this to the bank. You guys would be calling me up, laughing your ass off, so happy if the Giants took a receiver first round and the second round, or the second round and the third round. You guys would be ecstatic. You wouldn't know what to do with yourselves. We need playmakers and talent. We got to stop putzing around with guys like, well, we'll get one here and then we'll coach this. No more coaching guys up. Okay? No more coaching guys up. Let's move to the next section. Bang. Giants guys. Listen, subscribe. We need your support. Check out nygiantsrush.com. Hey, even you know what? We got some momentum going, by the way. Want to tease it now. We've been fortunate enough to make some friendships out there in Giant Land with Rich Soybert and Tynes and Tolfson and, of course, our man Russ. Carl Banks today shot me a nice note saying he's not a big fan of podcasts, but, he likes the Rush Cats. So he's going to come on some snowy day in January and recap the season with us.
Big ups.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Carl's always been super good to me and highly respect. And by the way, I'm not wearing this because Carl went there, but my daughter will be going there, so I'm repping that.
Oh, Carl's gonna love that.
Just in case Carl happens to watch the podcast. So stay tuned in. We're trying to bring you the best talent and interviews that we can. And we have some fun and we're getting pretty good at it, actually. So let's move on because we're low on time, right? So it's 9:18 and we're kind of lean. So let's rip through this. This one's called Double G. And Fresh, I'm starting with you. I have a very strong opinion on the Garrett Gettleman thing. 2 G's. Okay. I'm okay if one goes, but not both, for a majority of reasons that nobody gives a crap about. But what they do give a crap about is your take, Fresh, because you're Mikey Fresh. So my question is, Mikey Fresh, if one of them goes and there's any type of changing of the system, are we sinking Jones by bringing in a third system in 3 years? And are you leaning one way or another if Garrett should go or Gettleman? And what do you think if both go?
I think that if you make the move to get a new coordinator, you got to be right because it could sink Jones. It's not a definite, but it could. And Garrett, he'll be better. He's had a year to see the strengths and weaknesses of Jones to put him in a position to succeed next year. And I don't really hate him as much as everybody else. You guys all know how I feel about like the talent too. So I'm okay keeping Garrett. Gettleman, I'm okay either way as well. I've been finding myself defending him a lot because a lot of people really criticize him aggressively. Yeah. But if you were to tell me that like he's gonna, retire or we're gonna get a young guy like Thomas Dimitroff, Scott Pioli, Nick Caserio, I've been saying his name a lot on this show.
Loves Nick Caserio.
Yeah, right.
I like.
He's got a prop bet on him or something.
But I'm just saying, if you were to tell me, I would be okay if they moved on from him. But
I'm gonna go. Hang on, I gotta go check DraftKings. I gotta go check DraftKings to see if Fresh has got some money on it.
It's no, so that's 1,600.
That's where I'm at. I'm saying keep Garrett, Gettleman. I'm really good either way. But that's my take.
Because Fresh, you agree if they give him a third system, it's really setting up him to fail. Don't you agree?
Well, you got to hit it on the head. You got to don't change just to change. If you feel really good about the next guy, it could work. Alex Smith went through 8 systems before Jim Harbaugh, right? So like, if you're telling me we're getting the next Sean McVay or something, you just have to be super correct. You can't just do it just to do it.
Can the Giants can't afford to be wrong. That's my point is you might be sure doesn't mean you're right. And you can take that to the bank. Just because you're sure doesn't mean you're going to be right.
That's the chance you take when you hire anyone.
Go ahead, Michael Stewart. You can run with it. Well, what do you think?
No, I mean, I agree with what Fresh says. I mean, that's the chance you take when you hire anybody to be a coordinator. But I think, look, it's a strong possibility they both come back. And there's a strong possibility one won't, one will, and they both may not come back. Garrett could move on to a head coaching job.
No way. Not after that crappy year.
You don't know. He's been in the league in a long time. He's got buddies. You don't know.
That's true.
And Gettleman, I love the guy. I'm a big supporter like you guys are. And I wrote an article, like a little spiral theory there, that, if he did leave, it'd be in his own accord, he may retire. Just to see, kind of a reaction I got. But it could happen. Who knows? He's going to be 70 years old. You don't know. So
Michael Stewart, though, if they change the system, are we sinking Jones? I feel really strongly that what people discount, and you guys can either run this or dismiss it. Here's the thing. A new system isn't just for the quarterback. It's for 25 offensive guys, and they don't all learn at the same speed. They're not all cerebral quarterbacks that went to Duke. Now you're going to put 25 guys have to learn an entire new system. Why do it? It doesn't make sense. Go ahead, Jeff. Give me something here. Do either one of them go? And are you a fan of a new system?
I align with Fresh on this one because I feel like Jason Garrett, he didn't have the best ingredients to cook with. Let's be honest. Like with an offensive line that needed to learn against the best defensive units in the league to start, hurt their confidence and hurt their development. So it took longer than you wanted to. We know the wide receiver problems, and you have a quarterback who's on the fence, right? So he didn't have the best situation to throw points on the board anytime he wants. I think it might be better for Jones to keep the coordinator, add in more wrinkles, get more players, and then you have different options. You can do more things. That way it's not a whole new system. You have the same base, but then you can grow from there. And like we said, we're trying to build from the inside out. If it's a running game and it's all of that, then why you don't have to change coordinators. The running game was working. So let's build off of that, get some weapons. Then you can draw up plays for the talent that you have. So I think if it's one or the other, I'd rather keep Garrett and then maybe get a younger GM, assuming that we can keep the coaches that we've got.
All right. I'm cool. I'm cool in the gang with that. Spiro?
Well, what happens if you bring in a new coordinator that's like focused around Jones's game, and then next year Jones has another bad year? Then you're changing it again because you brought in a guy that was gonna be Jones's guy. You know what I'm saying? So then if you're changing quarterbacks, then I don't know if the new coordinator is going to be aligned with the new quarterback. So you're playing a game where you could be switching coordinators for the next 2, 3, 4, who knows how many years. I'm game for keeping both. I think, as has been mentioned before, Garrett has been, he's been conservative, but this is Judge's baby. He wants to run the ball. He wants to be conservative. This is the roster he had, and he knew the only way they were going to win games is defense and run the ball. Now, you get better weapons, like we were talking about before. You get those wide receivers. You get to open up the offense a little more. The offensive line's gelling a little bit more. You add another piece there. You get to open up the offense. There was a lot of mitigating circumstances that led to being conservative right now, and I want to see Garrett and Jones get another year at this.
I like that thought.
And Gettleman, you guys know I'm huge pro Gettleman, so he's going to walk away soon. Why make the move now? I think
he's irrelevant to me at this point, because if he stays, you know what you got. If he goes, you're going to get somebody young. Like I'm like, whatever. I don't have any energy
either way
left.
too. Yeah.
What's that, Jeff?
I'm kind of good either way too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I could see it being, I'm not going to lose sleep either way. I could see keeping him and I could see getting younger. I could see both.
I don't have the energy to fight it either. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's
Right.
like, what? All right, whatever.
It's too much.
But what I want to see is Garrett figure this out. Listen, let's not fool ourselves. He wanted to beat Dallas pretty bad. He came into the Dallas with the best playbook he had all year, rolled out a flea flicker, a pitch back, a rollout, a reverse. And then they lost anyway. Like, he has it in him if he wants to. I think, and when I said this earlier this week, Judge may have him on a pitch count. Judge may be saying, look, we don't want to expose Jones. We don't want this. We don't want that. Let's keep it this. We don't know. We just don't. We're 5 guys. Oh, actually, we're 5 guys who are the Giants guys, but we don't have any inside information. We have no idea. Judge could be like this: timeout, dial that back. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Garrett may look like shit because Judge may be telling him, you got to look like shit. We just don't know.
Right.
So, right? Amen. All right. Moving, because we're lean on time. Pro Bowl snubs. I don't like it. You don't like it. It makes the NFL look bad because we all know that Evan Engram, as much as we root for him as a Giant, he really didn't deserve that opportunity, not with 1 touchdown. It's more like he got a reward for making it through the season, right? Fresh, give me something. Give me something. Keep it short and sweet. Like, what's your thought on Pro Bowl snubs? And, I don't know.
You
does
really-
it matter?
Yeah, you really got to look at like the other guys on the other teams that went before starting screaming about all these guys that should have made it. I really feel for Leonard Williams more than anybody, and that would be the one that I would feel strongest about. But Martinez has got a case too. But other than that, like, it is what it is.
Yeah. Go ahead, Spear. What do you got?
I'll scream from the mountaintops that Leonard Williams got gypped, man. He had a better season than at least 3 or 4 of those defensive linemen that were on the list. We could all cry about Engram. Like, to me, the Pro Bowl's a joke to begin with. The whole process, it's an extra payment for these guys. The game doesn't even exist anymore. Like, to me, all pros matters way more than these Pro Bowl games. So I don't really care. The notoriety, from a notoriety standpoint, I believe I couldn't get that one out. I think Ryan and Ryan's actually a little bit further back, but Leonard Williams and Bradberry were the 2 guys that should have got locks.
Yeah.
But
and the beat writer said, "Oh, Logan Ryan's leading all safeties in votes, and then he doesn't even go."
he finished second, and so did Leonard Williams. Apparently, they finished close. But to me, they might get subbed in anyway because these, well, actually no, because nobody's going to this thing.
No game, yeah,
So,
no game.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter.
What the NFL needs to do is stop telling the fans that the fans' vote matters, because it doesn't. That's the thing. It's bad optics for the NFL to be like, yeah, we want your vote. It matters. Gats, it doesn't matter. Stop playing to my emotions like my opinion matters. Go ahead, Michael Stewart. What do you got?
Well, I agree with Spiro. It's really a farce. It's a joke. You can make a case for a lot of guys who didn't get in. I know we're Giant fans and we root for our guys, but there are a lot of other guys who are having good years. So, the only good thing I see out of this, and maybe it doesn't matter, but I like to be positive, is that it might enhance his trade value, Engram, because he's a Pro Bowler. And maybe they can, if they decide to do this, to move on, maybe it squeeze out a better pick for him. I don't know, but that's the only thing. I'm trying to be positive in all this.
Heck yeah, man. Look, Leo had a career year. If they can't see that, shame on them.
Saves us a couple bucks though, maybe.
Maybe. Go ahead, Jeff. What do you got?
Yeah, I think we have to, reel it in a little bit and remember we're a 5-9 team. So while, we were making the case for a lot of guys that are playing at a Pro Bowl level, nobody expected Evan Engram, obviously, but they're not going to, like Logan Ryan is a guy we love and he's great for the Giants, but I don't think he's on the league radar as like this amazing, we already had Bradberry, who was kind of a lock from our secondary. The guy was playing out of his mind. They're not going to give multiple secondary Pro Bowls to a 5-9 team. Yeah. I just don't see that happening. I think that's, Michael Stewart referenced, I think maybe it was an old Eagles team that had a bunch of Pro Bowlers from a bad team, but that's
Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City. Like that's certainly an exception to the rule. There's a lot of big names, big time guys. Leonard Williams deserves it. Blake Martinez, ton of tackles, but you could also make the case the Giants are losing a lot and other teams are running a lot. And he's the guy that's the middle linebacker and he's tackling a lot. So like He's playing great. Don't get me wrong, but Leonard Williams deserved it of anyone else, maybe instead of Evan Engram, and we
And
probably
Gano.
would have. Gano,
Oh, yeah.
he's played well, but we're 5-9. We can't kick and scream too much.
Young Ho Koo, was that his name? The guy who the kicker is?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He had a good.
Falcons.
He's having a good year. I looked
He
at his
is.
stats.
Well,
He
if you
is.
play fantasy, he was a hell of an asset this year.
Yeah, I think Gano's the only kicker though that didn't miss an extra point all season.
Which is crazy because that's a freaking chip shot.
Hey man,
Well-
you're a soccer guy. You know how to kick a field goal. Sometimes
Used to
you
be a
over-rotate,
chip shot.
man. We got to
It
call
used to be.
Tynes up and get some.
Koo has missed 3 extra points.
3?
Yeah.
Wow.
Get him out. Get him
Only
out.
1 field goal he's missed.
Yep.
Only
Yeah.
1 field goal all year. That's crazy.
That's why most people thought Gano was a lock.
He could have been in. You could make a case for a lot of guys.
Yeah, I think Leo definitely. I think Gano probably had some real competition, and I think Martinez had some real competition. But what's really super cool about the Giants is if they find a way to keep Leo, man, I think he likes playing for Judge.
Yeah.
I think he loves Graham. I think Graham's kind of unlocked him a little bit with giving him some snaps on the outside. A lot of really cool things. Yeah, a lot of cool things to look forward to in the Giants. So don't be all down, Giant people. We bitch and complain and argue with each other. But you know what? This team, 5-9, 6 wins, maybe 7 wins. But let's just say we're thinking 6. This team can win 10 games next year. This team will win 10 games next year.
Oh,
Ooh.
look at this.
What-
Already he's
Jeff.
making-
Boom.
Jeff, put it in a book.
Before the
All right.
draft, before free agency, you're making predictions.
You know
I had
what?
him winning,
You know
I had
what?
him winning 9 this year.
I'm not even
Oh,
writing it
boy.
down because we deserve 10 wins next year. I mean,
Yes,
we
do.
How much?
Yes,
we
we
do. Hey,
We've been
it's good.
beat
to-
up too much.
Listen, Giants fans. I know it sucks. You hate Judge. You hate Jones. You hate everybody because you haven't seen winning in a long time. But man, it's hard to explain. But the COVID and the shutdowns just ruined a lot of gelling and a lot of chemistry. And it really is going to get better. And I know it's been long enough. And you deserve more. We deserve more. It's the biggest market in the country. I get it. Moving on. Ravens next week. Going to be a tough game. You know what? Here's my thing, guys, and I'll let you guys run with it. I only want to see one thing. I don't care if they lose 40-0. Only thing I want to see is if Jones plays, I want to see him throw the ball 30 times. You know what? I'm going on record right now. Let him throw 5 picks. I've seen Eli do it. I've seen Sims do it. I've seen Graham, Bruner, Cannell. I've seen Dave Brown. I've seen them all. I'm telling you now.
How about Joe Batarchik?
I never saw Joe play. But listen, let the guy throw 5 interceptions. But guess what? Let him throw the ball. Let him throw the ball. Go ahead, Jeff. What do you got? Ravens next week.
I'm
What do you
right
wanna
with
see?
you, man. I'm so tired of the conservative play calling. We're not going anywhere. I don't see us winning the division anymore. I think we're going to lose to Baltimore. We're going to beat Dallas. That's how I see this season ending up. Let Jones cook. Just release the playbook. Let him go. Play aggressive. Do whatever at this point. What the hell do you have to lose? You're going up against a team that absolutely nobody on earth expects you to beat. So go ahead, go have fun and play like you're in the backyard. Go throw the ball around. Open it up. I'm tired of the Ken Jones do it. Just let him rip it. If he throws picks, whatever, the guy's accurate downfield. So call the plays more. Let's take shots. Let's go.
In fact, after he throws those 5 picks, nobody be like, he sucks. I told you. All I want to see is, can he throw the ball?
Just
That's it.
throw
Go
the
ahead.
ball.
Fresh. Talk to me. Fresh.
I don't care if they run it or pass it 50 times this game. The division's still in play. I don't think throwing 5 touchdowns or 5 picks in a 50 pass attempt game does anything either way. So play to win the game. I'm good with a conservative game. Just do what you got to do to win.
Oh, man. I'm done with conservative, dude. Let it open. Go ahead, Michael Stewart. What do you got for me?
Well, look, I want to see Jones play. I want to see him play healthy and not get hurt and do well. And I want to see a little more. I want to see a balanced attack. I want to see a balanced attack. I don't want to see him throwing 30+ game times.
The voice of reason wants a balanced attack.
Listen, that's what the Giants are made of. The Giants are
This
made.
is what it is.
They're not going to be win 10 games next year by slinging it. They're not going to do that.
Why you don't know that if we get a first-round draft pick wide
No, it's not
receiver,
the
baby?
Giants.
Not with
the
Saquon
Giants.
Barkley in the backfield.
Not with the Giants. That's right. You're not going to see.
Do what they were doing. They would throw to Barkley out of the backfield. Go ahead, Spiro. What do you got for me?
Well, Jones might have to throw the ball 40 times out of necessity if we're getting smoked. I mean, like let's call a spade here. But
Is he
no,
playing?
I'm confident that the defense is going to be able to shut down the Baltimore run game, which is huge because I still don't believe Jackson's a good passer, but that's just me. But yeah, no, they're going to have to keep a balanced attack, and I want to see something out of Jones. Listen, you're not gonna change the game plan now with the 15th game of the season. That's just not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
Why not?
Because Jones
No,
is
I
coming
know.
back
I'm
next
just
year.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
What was that? The football for Olivia Vernon?
Well, so I did a giveaway since the Giants played the Browns. I have this OV autograph football, and I implored everybody who subscribed to the YouTube channel would get into the drawing, and our winner is drum roll. Anybody? Twitter handle is @Saquon_Gleiber
Okay.
or Gleiber with no brim.
I know that,
Okay.
dude.
Is it Glaber? Like
Glaber,
Torres?
Glaber.
Like Torres?
Yeah,
Torres,
Torres.
Yeah,
yes.
Glaber. Yeah.
Yeah, so Glaber with a brim, and the actual Twitter account is @Saquon_Glaber. So he is the winner of the OV autograph ball. All right, it's still in the box since I got it. It's a sweet ball, even if you don't. I mean, he wanted it, so he's got it. OV, for the because of the Browns, but you could also display it like that. It's also an
Just
autograph.
don't show the name.
Bring it with you and have
Play
other
catch in the
dudes sign.
yard, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So listen, you're listening to the Giants guys. We got a jam. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Show us some love. Okay. If you need a quick gift for the holiday, nygiantsrush.com has a store. You can buy sweatshirts. You can buy hats. Mikey Fresh, show them the shirt.
These shirts are nice, for real. They're a good gift for
They're
any
comfy,
Giants fan.
very
My-
comfy.
Yeah, man. Listen, I want you to know that my whole staff here, beside me and Michael Stewart, have little kids, little itty bitty babies, and they all now are wearing
Onesie.
onesies
Mhm.
with the Giant Rush skull on the front of it. You gotta love it. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to the Giants guys. Check us out on YouTube. We will be back. Are we on between Christmas and New Year's? Who's in?
I'm
Yeah,
in.
Let's do it.
All right, we may be on next week. If we're not, we're drinking and getting fat because it's Christmas. Happy holidays.
Let's do both.
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Happy
Yes.
Hanukkah. Do it all for us. Whatever you celebrate, rock and roll. Be safe. We love you guys. Thanks for the support. Peace out.
Peace.